Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Hustle, where we talk about what it really takes to build, create, and lead without burnout and losing yourself. And here we turn pain into purpose, bust the myths that keep women stuck, and give our audience real tools to build without burnout, all while living a life rooted in purpose. And on this show, people feel seen, they feel heard and appreciated, and they leave knowing that they're not alone, that there are other women out there, they're doing it their way, and that all of you can too, because your story matters and you're doing powerful work in the world. So today, I'm so excited for today's Beyond the Hustle from Corporate to Freedom. This is Taylor's Repurpose story. And today's guest is someone who's very close to my heart because I've had the honor of witnessing her transformation firsthand. And I'll just do a quick bio and then we'll jump right in. So, Taylor Engle Anderson is a writer, media professional, and published author with over a decade of experience in journalism, PR, and marketing. She's also a lifelong dancer, teaching Afro beats, ballet, hip hop, and movement classes, which I love. I've taken a few that help women feel empowered and connected to themselves. She's also the editor in chief of her own women's magazine, a space dedicated to intuition, storytelling, and self connection. But beyond her titles, Taylor's story is one of deep healing, and she's a graduate of the Repurpose Your Life 20-week mentorship program. And her journey from perfectionism and burnout to alignment and flow is such a powerful reminder that true success doesn't come from struggle, it comes from harmony and from within. Oh my goodness. So I'm so excited. Taylor, welcome.
Yay! Thank you so much, Isabel. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Thank you. So let's begin. I always like to start with the first we like to dive right in.
Yeah,
So
let's
Taylor,
go for it.
you said something that stopped me in my tracks. For a long time, I equated struggle with worth. And I know so many of us can relate to that. I know I can. And
Yeah.
that belief that if we're not grinding, pushing, or struggling, we're somehow not doing enough. So, Taylor, when did you first realize that that belief that struggle equals worth was running your life?
Yeah. So thank you, Isabel. Well, I kind of hit a wall with it, to be honest. So just a little background. Growing up my whole life, I feel like that was kind of just drilled into me from the dance studio, from school, just from like culture in general. It was kind of this expectation of like being perfect. And then I put that on myself a lot as well. And I just kind of kept going that way for so many years, burning the candle at both ends, working multiple jobs, going to school. And I ended up developing an eating disorder along the way. So I was really just harming myself in so many ways. And I thought that I was doing amazing. But if I actually zoomed out and took a look, it was like, no, you're miserable and you're, just really making things a lot harder than they need to be. And so I kind of hit a wall when I, realized that I had a problem, and I had to kind of admit that. And then I turned around and sought help. And that's just kind of been a journey of being comfortable with like being more vulnerable and just knowing that perfection is not possible. There's just life. We do our best every day. We show up and be the best version of ourselves. And that is the best thing that you can do.
So powerful. And thank you so much for being open, honest, and vulnerable, Taylor. And it really is an inspiration to see how much of the transformation, just from turning that pain into purpose, into what you do now. And with all the lessons that it just continues to be an example for others. And how has your definition of success evolved since letting go of that story?
Oof, it's completely different now. Completely different. I think for me, the ultimate factor of success is just health and um, a balanced life. Honestly, that is the definition of success for me. I think we just place this impossible ideal of perfection and we're constantly just chasing the next thing. And I noticed that with myself, that every time I felt like I achieved a milestone, it just still wasn't enough to me. There was always the next thing that I needed. And so true success is honestly sounds corny, but it's true. Like just being happy with yourself and happy with where you are. And like I said, showing up and being the best version that you can be every single day. Sometimes that looks like you just need to take a nap and take a rest. And that is the best thing you can do that day. But it's not going to look different. I mean, it is going to look different every single time. It's not just this, you're not going to live a perfect day every single day.
Thank you for sharing that. And a lot of us, especially like in the entrepreneurs, building small business owners, you get it because it's every day can be different. Every single day, you're going to have a different mood. It's not going to be cookies, rainbows, and ice cream. And there's going to be those times where you do need to take that step back and realize, oh my God, look how far I've gotten. Instead of punching ourselves, beating ourselves up because we're not at goal A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A, the rest of the alphabet, but you've actually gotten to this point, and to give yourself credit. So thank you so much for sharing that because it's so important.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, was there ever a moment where you realized the hustle was costing you more than it was giving you?
Yes. So a big moment that really comes to mind. I lost my dad about almost 4 years ago now, and that was really, really difficult. And one like big example of me just trying to push through things, I like wasn't letting myself feel the grief at first, to be honest. I didn't know how to handle it, and I was just kind of like, if I just throw myself into work, like I can kind of almost pretend like this didn't actually happen, or I'm not actually dealing with these feelings, which is ridiculous, like looking back. But I think at the time that was what I was telling myself, is like, just keep busy, just keep going. Like that's the best thing you can do right now. But it wasn't. I started to just like confuse myself. I was trying to do too many things at once. And a dear friend of mine, who is a colleague of mine, was kind enough to kind of reach out and just be like, hey, is everything okay? You just seem a little off. And then I was kind of able to open up and be like, you know what? Yeah, I needed to take a moment and pause and let myself feel this. And I didn't. And I feel kind of silly about that. But now it was just a lesson learning to like moving forward, know that when life gets difficult, it's okay to pause. And it's actually more responsible to know when you need to remove yourself from a workflow or a situation or a project. Sometimes you just have to remove yourself and you have to heal, or go inward instead. And that is okay. And it's actually a lot better than trying to push yourself through this impossible grief, you know?
Yes. And condolences to you and your family, because I know grief is that is a journey in itself. And as you already know, many of you may or may not know, both of my parents also passed. I know your father did, but I did the same thing. I dived right into work. I even had people saying, "Do you need some time?" No, I'm going to keep working.
Yeah.
But when my mentor passed last year is when I said, no, no, I'm going to do it differently, because you really do need to give yourself that time, because your business will reflect your personal life.
Yes.
And if you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to show up in your business too. So it's such a powerful reminder. You dropped some gems in there. I can't wait to like put those in quotes, Taylor, but it's so important to take that time. And I'm so glad that you did. And
Thank
then
you.
even in those times that you don't want to feel those feelings because it's uncomfortable. And sometimes we think like, oh my God, what's going to happen if I feel all these feelings? It's so heavy. It's so much. But
Yeah.
it's almost like once you feel it, you got to go through it. You can't go on top or under it. You got to go through it. And then you will come out at the other side. I
Yeah.
believe with the relief.
Yes. Yeah. I was just going to say, it's like, if you don't go through it, something's going to push you through it. Like it's going to have to happen eventually. So yeah, that's a powerful lesson I learned.
Thank you, Taylor. And now let's get in how and what you're doing now. So you joined Repurpose Your Life during a season of transition, and you were building a creative career, mentoring others, and trying to find what truly aligned. And I remember you've been freelancing for a while now, but what was this season like before you joined the program? And the program, real quick, it's Repurpose Your Life. It is a 20-week mentorship, and I guide women to launch a life and business that makes an impact in a more holistic way. So we look at strategy and soul because it's not one or the other, and really building something that's sustainable for you, for your family, for your growth. And these are for the entrepreneurs that are making impact, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. So what was that season for you before you joined the program, Taylor?
Yes. So I love talking about this experience and this program. It was seriously life-changing for me. But yeah, just to take it back a little bit. So I started my career. I am a writer, a marketer, and a public relations expert on one side. I'm also a dance instructor, but for now we'll focus on the writing and the professional marketing and PR. So I started my career in corporate offices, and I learned a lot in these situations and experiences, but I think I also felt like I wanted to do more. I always wanted to do more. I always wanted to take on more. And I always had ideas that I wanted to bring to the table that were just, I didn't feel like they were being listened to or valued. And I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. So I've always had, my freelance career on the side, where I would be writing or doing some PR with clients one-on-one. So I was kind of building that muscle on the side with the idea of at some point that is going to be 100% what I'm doing. But I think it's also very easy for us to kind of get stuck. So I feel like I was stuck for a while in that narrative of one day, that's what I'm going to do. But it was always one day, one day. So at a certain point, I'm 10 years into my career and I'm thinking, okay, when is one day? Like it has to happen at some point. And I think I was dealing with some things at work in the corporate space that I really was just feeling like, I don't seem to be getting the opportunities that I really want here. I'm not able to innovate or like really drive this company forward in the way that I want to, or that I would if I was able to kind of make the decisions myself. And it inspired me to, it's funny because it was sort of like this period where I was upset about it and feeling powerless and a little helpless about the situation. And that was the exact moment where I joined the course. It was like the perfect timing where I was just feeling like something's got to give here. And I was super empowered by the course, just being equipped with the tools to not only look at how I was showing up in the workplace, but also how I was showing up in my personal life, in my relationships, in my connection to nature. Like I love the very holistic approach that we worked with. And yeah, it really just allowed me to kind of level up in my confidence in every area of my life. So I was able to step away from that career earlier this year. That was in May. So now we're in October. I've been 100% on my own, just working directly with clients. And it has been so amazing. And it's just the start. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. I feel like I went in a couple different directions there.
Yes, thank you, Taylor. And can we talk about, because so it's a 6-month program, but Taylor wrote specific goals. And at the end, I help the entrepreneurs with a roadmap with everything, your next to-dos and all the goals that you want to reach. Let's talk about how you put all those goals, and some of them you finished earlier, and the fact that whenever you start to gain this new perspective of you and you start to see you're like, oh my God, let's go. So you went with that momentum. And I thought that was just so powerful to see. And then the next thing was putting that deadline to leave corporate. Because I'm a strong believer in you taking action, you're putting deadlines, you're also working on yourself. And that's why it's such a holistic viewpoint, because honestly, whenever I did my business, I burn out twice. So being in corporate, Repurpose Your Life is really helping to bring that holistic viewpoint that I believe is missing in so many things. So Taylor, I was going to also ask, what was one exercise, reframe, or conversation from Repurpose Your Life that changed the way you saw yourself?
Ooh, wow. That's a really good question. So the exercise of like introducing a doubtful self-belief and then transforming that into a confident self-belief, that's an exercise I still do it weekly to this day. So even after the program, was over, I have continued to do these exercises every single week. Like I have them in my planner, I check them off. And that one is all about putting down a belief that comes from your doubtful self. So, I don't think that I can meet my revenue goals this month, or I don't think that I have any value to give to my clients. Like all these things that are buried deep in our head that we don't want to admit that are there, but they really are when you unpack it and you're like, oh, wow, like I do actually feel some self-doubt for whatever reason. There's so many reasons that these thoughts get into our head. And then you've taught me how to just like sit with that belief, put it out there. Cause that's the hardest part sometimes, is just to like admit it. Like, I actually do think this, I actually do feel afraid, or I feel ashamed, or, whatever it is. Like, it's kind of hard to admit that, number one. Okay. And then to admit it, write it down and sit with it and be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. And then you challenge it and you're like, well, wait, why do I feel that way though? Because it doesn't make sense. Like there's no evidence to back that up. And then like just being able to put it out there and break it down like that, and then transform it into, actually, no, I don't believe that, because that's not true. It doesn't make any sense. Like it's just minimized so many of those things that felt like so heavy and oppressive. And now it's just like, no, I got this. Like, I don't choose to believe that anymore. I think that was the most powerful lesson that I have learned from the transformation.
Oh, awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Taylor. And that is one of the reframe frameworks, literally called Reframing Your Framework.
Yeah.
Because of the power in one, repetition, and I would just say, let me say it again. It's the power in rewiring, but with the use of repetition. So,
Yeah.
and being consistent, because it ends up becoming so natural that you'll start catching yourself, especially when we go into those doubtful spirals. So it's so awesome. And I get so excited to hear that you're still using those tools, because they were, those were the same tools I used to be able to help myself to get out of the debt, the depression, the anxiety, and all the other wild things in my life. But
yeah. And just to add one, like with the repetition, I've noticed too that I'm like incapable of having those negative thoughts anymore. Or if they do slip in, I really catch them and I'm like, no, get out of here. Where before it was just constantly getting in. So yeah, it's amazing.
Start catching and reframing. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what's going on?
we always choose our own story and what we're continuing to say to ourselves. And that in itself is also very freeing. We have that choice. With practice, just like practice becoming muscle memory. Your book, Muscle Memory, we're actually going to ask the next question of, how does it feel to begin honoring your creativity again through writing and dance without the pressure to be perfect?
Yes. So thank you for mentioning Muscle Memory. That is my book. So I am a published author. I have a book. I co-wrote it with my father. It was his life's memoir. So that was wonderful to write. But to answer your question, I didn't feel like I was able to use my own voice. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just in my whole career, as a journalist or a PR person, I'm constantly adapting to other people's tones and telling other people's stories. And again, that's a big passion of mine. And I love doing that. But of course, as a writer, we all want to tell our own story, and we have certain things that we want to express that maybe that client or that publication wouldn't say, but I would. So that's what Muscle Memory is for me. It is my second novel, but my first solo novel and my first fiction novel. So I have always loved writing fiction and kind of like just creating these worlds, getting into my imagination, letting my inner child play. And that is what this book has been for me. It actually started from the grief of losing my father. I was inspired to write about it just to try to work through the feelings. Once I realized, okay, I'm not processing things and I need to start processing it, I thought, well, let me start writing about it. And I turned that into fiction, and then I created these characters, and it just kind of ran from there. So it's inspired by my grief of losing my father, but then it became a fiction piece. And yes, I'm in the process of sending it out to agents right now. So it will be published next year, 2026. And I'm also working on my third novel / second solo fiction novel, which will be completed by the end of next year, 2026, and then published in 2027. And yeah, it's just, I'm kind of in a phase where I just want to honor my creativity and express myself totally from my own heart. So it's been amazing.
Oh, that's so exciting to hear. And then let's talk, did you want to share anything about your dance as well? Because you have so many different talents, or this is because there's so many things.
I
It's very
know.
powerful with all the creative things that you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah. So I do have my writing. I've been a PR professional for almost 8 years now. And I'm kind of working on training now for other companies and teams, because the office that I came from, they did not have their own PR agency or PR department. They did have a marketing department though, where I worked, and I was able to get online course PR learning while I was there. So now I'm developing courses to help people and companies be able to implement their own PR, even if they're a small team. So that's kind of all on the writing and business side. And then yes, dance. So I started teaching my own dance program here in Rancho Santa Margarita, where I live in California, last year. So it's been a little over a year since I launched that program through the city. It's very fun. It's all outdoors at the park. So you get the fresh air, the sunshine. I teach a mix of styles. So I do Afrobeats, belly dance, ballet, hip hop, Latin styles as well. And I kind of just, it's a mix, kind of like a Zumba style workout that's just nonstop cardio, a lot of fun and beginner friendly. And I also teach at a dance studio now as well, where I teach an Afrobeats class. And yeah, that has kind of taken off as well. Dance has always been a love of mine, but I did have a complicated relationship with it before, just with kind of the body standards that I grew up, like being so hard on myself. So now I'm very committed to creating a dance space that is very open and welcoming for people. And I don't allow any negativity, no competition, no body shaming, none of that. Like, it's just a good space to get in touch with your body and express yourself. So yeah, I've been loving it.
Oh, very powerful. And Taylor, actually, we've partnered up as well. She came to New York and was part of the Repurpose Your Life retreat, which is a retreat that we do once a year. And she had this awesome belly dancing class there.
Yes.
And so many people loved that. I mean, the class was packed.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's really exciting to see others in their element. And I don't think there's enough of appreciating of other entrepreneurs, because we're all, especially women entrepreneurs, there's like this fight for attention, for ego, and something that is really important in the work that I do, especially Repurpose Your Life, because I'm just that person, is to really, it's almost like relish and get so excited to see other people in their passion and doing what they love. Because whenever you see that, it inspires others, it re-inspires you and myself, and speaking of myself, and then it also allows others to be inspired. It's like, oh my God, look, they're doing what they love to do. I want to do that too. Maybe I can. So I think it's really important to, one, collaborate instead of compete. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, even in your dance and what you're teaching and how you live your life as well, and how important that is to really bring that community and sense of safety.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Because in the dance space, especially, that there does get to be that competitiveness, and there's just no need for it. There's no room for it. And that is what I love so much about your retreat, Isabel, is there was such a sense of community, and it wasn't like, each vendor looking at each other and going, okay, I'm competing with you. It was, we're all celebrating each other. We're all lifting each other up. We were, supporting each other, going to each other's tables and asking questions, and making collaborations. Some of the other vendors I'm still in touch with to this day. And yeah, it's just a great place to meet people and make community. And yeah, you're the one that created that environment of just like safe collaboration. So thank you for all the amazing work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it.
Yes.
Um, so this is a part where we move from our story to strategy, from reflection to action. So Taylor, what is one practice or mindset shift that has helped you move forward from burnout to alignment?
I think something as simple as just being able to take a breath and take a pause during the day. That is something that I feel I've kind of recognized the pattern, and your program has really helped me be more aware of my own patterns. But my old pattern was to be kind of just operating from an anxious space all the time. So just go, 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 email, like text, do everything at the same time, do multiple projects at the same time, like just keep yourself completely overwhelmed with work. And I have operated like that for so long. And it's funny, actually, yesterday I had a very busy day. I don't know what was in the air, but it was like everything coming my way, new projects, new emails. It was like just one of those days where everything's happening at once. And I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? I'm handling this day so differently than I would have even a year ago or a couple years ago. Because I'm telling you, in the past, when I had a busy day like that, I would literally feel my heart pounding. I'd be sweating. Like I would just be so anxious trying to juggle all these plates, you know? But yesterday, and just in general now in my life, I have this mindset of like, okay, even if a lot of things are happening at once and I'm really busy, I can still breathe. I can go at my own pace. And it's just one thing at a time. And it's just, what am I doing right now? Am I present in this moment? And I caught myself yesterday because in the midst of all the busyness, I took a little break to go to the grocery store to get a few ingredients for dinner. And I found myself like kind of checking my phone as I was parking. And I stopped myself and I was like, you know what? Stop. Just look around. The sky is beautiful. The day is beautiful. It's autumn. The leaves are changing. Like, I am here. I am about to go get some food to nourish my body. That's a blessing. And I just need to be grateful for the moment. So yeah, it's something as small as just taking those present moments, taking a little breath, closing your eyes, putting your hand on your heart, and just remembering like, I'm here and everything's going as it should be.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for sharing. That's such a powerful, I would say almost, it's not a thing, but an act to do, and really feeling present, because as we all know, I'm guilty too. So many things are happening. We got our phone, we got our TV, we got our computers, we've got, living in New York City, the honking, we've got the news, like it's like
Yes.
24/7.
Nonstop.
It is
Yeah.
not, but to be able to just hold on. Let me take a breath. Let me put my hand to my heart. And it's so important with the connection, brain to heart coherence. So just literally right here, that just few seconds really starts to alert your body to, oh, hold on, let me stop here. And then it's like this connection that, actually, I don't know who said it. They said the journey from your head to your heart is the longest one to actually connect here. I don't know who said it. If anyone out there knows, please let me know, because it's such a powerful quote. And I don't know who said it, but
Yeah. Let us know, because I love that. That's so
please,
true.
still trying to find it. It still says unknown when I Google it, but
Oh, dang it. Now I'm going to look too.
and then yeah, just that awareness of being present, because we do forget, one, how much support we have of the things we don't even see, are from the people, from the elements, from everything, from our
Yeah.
family, friends, and then also ourselves, our body,
Yeah.
everything that's working and helping us to stay alive. We don't
Exactly.
take that minute. So I'm so glad you shared. And what does alignment look like for you today? And how do you know when you're in it?
Ooh. Well, another thing I've learned from Isabel is, I think this was a video you posted one time. And it was like a practice of saying, okay, body, what does a yes feel like versus what does a no feel like? that really, really hit me whenever I think I saw it come up on my feed one time and I was like, whoa, and I saved it and I sat down and I took the time. So basically what Isabel does in the video is, correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm missing anything, but basically you sit with yourself and you just kind of close your eyes, put your hand on your heart and you say, body, what does a yes feel like? And then you just pay attention to what your body is doing, how you're feeling, how you're breathing, how your heart feels. And then you do the same thing when body, what does a no feel like? And then just saying the word no, you feel kind of a different energy. It feels a little heavier, a little more difficult or constricted. And I think that has helped me understand, like, that's all you need to be in alignment is just your body knows, like your body knows exactly what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. You can try to fight it, but your body always knows. And so I've had situations, whether in work, in relationships, in just my personal life, where I'm now a lot better at listening to that connection with my body that I've always had. But I think we get very used to stifling it or ignoring it. And it's like, no, that is your powerhouse. Like that's what's telling you what is meant for you. So I think that connection is the most important thing for staying in alignment.
Oh my God. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. So that is the body connection meditation. And if anyone's interested, please write in the comments down below connection and I can send it to you. But it's super powerful and it's something that because I practice it and it takes time. Sometimes if we're not really aware and disconnected from ourselves, it'll take some time and practice to see like, oh, I think that's what yes means or no means. And it literally is helping you to reconnect to yourself. So we don't continue to outsource our power. And it's a relearning of our own moral compass.
Yes. Yeah. And I will say I did have to do it a couple times before I was like, okay, I now understand. But that just goes to show how disconnected we can be. And it just might take a little practice to like get back in touch with yourself, but it's possible.
It is. That practice is just like working out, just like learning a language, playing a new instrument, the same thing. We got to practice getting to know ourselves or actually getting to know ourselves. And then trusting, and that's a practice in trusting your own gut and your own intuition, because all those times you're like, no, I think, but then you second guess yourself. It's like, count how many times you second guess yourself. And then, after a few weeks, you're like, dang it, I knew it.
It always comes back around at some point.
Always. And that practice really strengthens that connection with yourself. And then if someone's listening right now, feels disconnected or burnt out, what's one small step that they can take this week to start realigning? Well, we did actually just talk about this, but do you have any other things that you may do whenever you feel disconnected or burnt out?
Yes. Well, definitely make time for self-care. So whatever that looks like for you, even just pausing and breathing can be a form of self-care, but that is something that I try to do every single day, or I do every single day. I literally write it in my planner, self-care, so that I take at least a minute, to do something for myself that day. But if you have a little extra time, maybe you take a nice warm shower, maybe you spend some time with a loved one, go treat yourself to a nice, cup of coffee or a nice tea or a special treat. Date yourself and woo yourself. You deserve it. You deserve to be loved. So I think that is the thing. I was talking to a friend about this the other day. I think especially even like as we're single as well, it's difficult to remember like, hey, you should still be dating yourself and loving yourself. Because even if there's not someone else in the picture to do it, hey, you're there for you, So I think if you're watching this is your sign to take a moment today to do something nice for yourself. Give yourself a foot massage, take a bath, go for a nice walk, put on some music and dance. Do whatever you got to do to feel good and loved.
Oh, yes. What a powerful reminder. And it is so important. We got to learn how to date ourselves, because the most important relationship we'll ever have is with ourselves.
Yes.
And then that's how we're able to be even better for others. Um,
Exactly.
again, I don't know who said this. It's such a great quote. But they said, thank you. The greatest gift that we can give to anyone else is to work on ourselves.
So true.
And
Wow.
I'm
I
like,
love
ooh, yes. Who said,
that.
I don't, again, if anyone knows who said it, please.
It's seriously, yeah, let us know because that is so true. I've always noticed that, like, if I'm ever having some sort of conflict or friction, it's like, hang on, what's going on with me? Because that's the source of everything.
Mm. And Taylor, for those who resonate with your story, how can they connect with you or experience your work? Because one, if anyone wants to go dancing, I highly recommend, especially if you're in California, or online as well, so you can share with everyone how they can connect with you and experience your work.
Absolutely. Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, so there are a few different ways. As Isabel said, I have in-person dance classes, but I do also have online. I'm actually about to launch an online belly dancing course for the month of November. So every Tuesday in November, it'll be at 6 o'clock Pacific time, but I'll be recording it. So even if you can't join the live session, you'll always get access to the replay. It's all basics, so totally beginner friendly. That's going to be a lot of fun. You can follow me at Dance Spice. That's with two E's at the end. So it's DANCESPICEE. And I post everything to do with my dance community there. And then for writing or PR, you can go to taylorengle.com. That's TAYLORENGLE.com. And that has all the information. There's a contact form if you want to reach out with any questions. It'll show you all my published work, ways to get in touch with me for PR or marketing advice. And yeah, I think those are all the ways.
Awesome. And I'll make sure to put some of those things in the captions as well, so all of you that are watching the replay can join.
Yes.
So now, as we're coming towards the end, I always like to look at the reciprocity spotlight. It's really important for us to also give back, right? It's a give and a take. Reciprocity, especially in the businesses and working with other impact entrepreneurs, it's always a give and take. And how can we serve others through our gifts and talents? So you're also someone who leads with service. So I've seen that in how you mentor others and show up for your community. So you work with the OC sober gals.
Yes.
You mentor authors, you teach dance. What inspires you to give back in these ways?
Yes. So I just believe that giving it's necessary. I mean, part of the flow of life and of energy is to give back. I do believe in just showing gratitude and helping others in every way I can. So as far as I want, to progress in my own goals and dreams, I want to be able to give gratitude to anything that made that possible, which is just my whole surroundings, everyone in this world. We're all connected. We're all one, as far as I'm concerned. So yes, that kind of fuels my passion for giving back. I love to mentor writers in my free time. Just anytime a writer has any sort of question for me or any way that I can help connect you to someone in my network, whatever I can do for you, I'm always willing to help. So like I said, please go to taylorengle.com, reach out to me. Any questions, I'm always here for people. And then, yes, with the OC Sober Gals, they are a nonprofit organization based here in Southern California, geared toward helping women. So they're all, the organization is about women in recovery, but they support women who are in need of housing, women who are victims of domestic abuse or violence. So I'm so aligned with their mission and I work with them a lot. I'm actually teaching them a dance class this weekend. And part of those proceeds are going to a women's shelter. So yeah, I'm always looking for ways to give back. So also, if you are someone with a nonprofit organization watching this and you'd like to collaborate, please reach out. I would love to help.
Awesome. That's such beautiful work that you're doing for the community. And what do you hope your work and your story awaken in other women?
Ooh, well, okay. So about a month ago, I actually had a party for my 1-year Dance in the Park class anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so much fun. I had a bunch of students there. I taught a class. We had some lunch. We all just hung out at the park. It was such a blast. And one thing I did was an affirmation jar. So anyone who was there could write a little anonymous note about another dancer, something that they admired about that person, and put it in the jar. And at the end of it, I just had a jar full of super sweet notes of people complimenting each other, which was just such good energy. And one thing that someone had said was that these classes made them feel like they could be comfortable being themselves. And I think that is the number one thing that I want women to know and to feel. I mean, anyone, women or men, but I think for women specifically, we are kind of raised to almost compete with one another. And like I said, in the dance spaces, and Isabel, you and I have worked in fashion as well. Like, you know what that can be like, as far as competition and just the negative energy. And, you know, we don't have to choose that. We can choose to support one another. And like you said, or like this person that we can't remember their name said, self-love is, or the best thing you can do for someone else is to take care of yourself. And I believe that that is the best way to connect with one another. So I'm all about just connect with your inner confidence, love yourself, and everything else is going to fall into place.
Oh, Taylor, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for all the work that you continue to do. It's just so amazing to see your transformation. Oh, it's so exciting. And I'm so excited for you, and I'm proud of you too. And as we wrap up, what a powerful conversation we had today, Taylor.
I know.
So everyone, again, thank you for being here. Thank you, all of you that are watching the replay. So as we wrap up, Taylor's story is a reminder that healing isn't linear. It's layered. It's a roller coaster. It can be messy, and it's also deeply human, just like all of ours. And sometimes the real power isn't in pushing harder. It's in slowing down long enough to hear yourself again. And Taylor is proof that you can take the very things that once made you feel doubt, that you can repurpose them into something sacred and strong to help others. And if any of you have been pushing, striving, or feeling like you have to earn your worth, this conversation will remind you that you already are enough, period. Let's say it again. You are already enough. And that your softness, your stillness, and your truth are part of your power and just being who you are. So thank you so much, Taylor, for leading with such grace, courage, and authenticity. And to everyone listening, if you love this episode, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. You can also join the Repurpose Your Life Collective to connect with other women walking the same journey of alignment and building purpose-driven lives and businesses. So Taylor, any last words?
Last words, just thank you everyone for listening. Isabel, thank you so much for having me and just for creating this space in general for us to have these honest conversations. I've learned so much from you, and I'm so grateful for you. And yeah, just final reminder to do that act of self-love for yourself this week when you're watching this.
Yes, everyone. And I feel the same with you, Taylor. Thank you so much. And I'm grateful for you. So everyone, until next time on the next Beyond the Hustle, keep rising, keep repurposing, and keep building. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.